Welcome to the weekly Pacent test video. On this next screen, you're going to see all of the start times of the problems, so you can just fast forward to the problems that you want to look at. All right, here we come with this week's video. All right, here is the test 16. So we're going to go through these 4 problems, and this is your chance to take some notes. Remember, many of these types of questions will be on future tests. Anything from 16 or 15 will be on test 17, test 18. So this is a good opportunity to firm up your understanding of it. As always, if you have questions after you watch this, be sure you bring them to class. So here we go. Question number 1. The Coles are looking for a real estate agent to sell their house. So they're going to look at 2 different agents. Now, one of these agents charges both a flat fee, we can see that flat fee laid out right here, $3,000, and a 2% commission fee. The second agent doesn't charge any flat fee, no flat fee at all. They charge a 4% commission. So we bring that information down. Here is our first agent. Let me just put a line right here between our information. Here's our first agent. There's the $3,000 flat fee that was mentioned right up here in the problem. Here's the 2% commission. That commission's always charged on the price of the house, which is mentioned right here. So 2% of $175,000 is $3,500. We add these together to get the total. We add these 2 parts together, and that gives us our total commission, $6,500. Now, in our second house, or our second agent for this house, there is no flat fee. There's a 4% commission. So that 4% commission is $7,000, 0.04 times 175,000, 7,000. Here's what we add this time. We always add the flat fee and the commission. Here there was no flat fee, so that gives us the $7,000. And as we scroll down to the bottom of this problem, we can see that the agent to buy through is right here. The first agent has a total fee of $6,500, and that's cheaper than the $7,000 from the second agent. All right, let's jump on to problem number 2. Now on number 2, we're comparing the cost of a boat bought in California and the cost of that same boat purchased in Oregon. These problems are just combinations of what we've done in the past. So in the past, you've done problems where you had an item and it had a discount. You figured out the sale price. Then we moved a step further and you had an item with a discount. After you got the sales price, we added some tax. So this is a case where for the California item, for the California boat, it cost $8,000 and 8.5% sales tax. Notice there is no discount at that California boat dealer. So we bring that information down. We take note, no discount. 8,000 times 0.85 is $680 in tax. We add that in. We get $8,680 as a total cost. Now over in Oregon, you got this very same boat. It costs $9,000, but it's marked down 10%, and there's a 2% sales tax. And notice we went through all those percents and we changed them into decimals. So here's the Oregon boat, $9,000 times 10%, that's a $900 savings. And you'll notice when we bring that $900 savings right down here, it gets subtracted. Savings always save you money. Discounts always save you money. So we take the discount away. We have $8,100. Now we go ahead and figure out the tax on the discounted amount. It's always tax on the sale price. So that's $162. We bring that right over here. We add it to the sales price. We get $8,262. And so Oregon is the place to buy that boat. That boat will cost us $8,262 in Oregon. It cost us $8,680 in California. Okay, problem number 3. So problem 3 is one of those where you're given either a fraction, a decimal, or a percent, and you're asked to find the equivalents, find the things that have the same value. So first we're given the fraction 3/5. One thing to do is think about that in tenths, because our place value system moves by powers of 10. So you have ones, then you have the decimal, then you have tenths and hundredths and thousandths. So if we can make it into tenths and then say it as tenths, 6/10, we get 6/10. Now you notice this light blue 0. Some students like to think of that at 2 places. That makes it easier to get to the percentages for some students. If you wrote it as 0.6, that's correct. If you wrote it as 0.60, that's correct. When it's time to move it to the percent, remember what we talked about? You move 2 decimal places over because you're multiplying times 100. Move it over twice. That's what percent means, is out of 100. And we get our percent. Now let's move to our second line. In the second line, we're given a 0.8. So we're given 8/10. So here it is as 8/10. That needs to be simplified to 4/5. As a percent, you might want to put that 0 in and then move the decimal to 2 places. We get 80%. Finally, in the third line, we have 48%. We do the opposite to change a percent to a decimal. When we change a percent to a decimal, you divide by 100, and the decimal moves 2 places to the left. That gives us 0.48. We read that, we get 48 hundredths, and then we simplify down. On to number 4. You are asked to find the repeating decimals this time. If we calculate all 4 of these, we see that the first one, 0.416 repeating, the third one, 0.86 repeating, and the last one, 0.3 repeating, represent the correct answers. The second one, 33/66, that actually simplifies to 1/2, which equals 0.5. That is terminating. All right, in the bottom of the page, we had 8/25. We wanted to know which is equal to 32. One way to go through these is to make them each equal to 100. So we know that this can't be right because it says written as a fraction. This is 16/100, which is 16%. This is multiplied by 5, 40/100, which is 40%. And this, 25 times 4, so 8 times 4, 32. There is our 32 hundredths. And if we have 32 hundredths, then we've got 32%. All right, so there's your test 16. It's a good place to review. You could do that as a review before 17 and 18 because Concept 15 and 16 will both be on the Week 17 test. Concept 16 will also be on the Week 18 test. Again, anytime you have questions, bring them to class.